We are from Group 1 and welcome to our project presentation of the application of MFRS by our selected companies. These are our project members. We will discuss further regarding this project. Now, I would like to present the information related to Kenanga Investment Bank Berhad. First and foremost, we have to know the background of the company. Kenanga is a corporation that is listed on Bursa Malaysia Securities Berhad with the stock number 6483. It is classified under the financial service sector and established for more than 45 years. It is a strong foundation in regulatory compliance and risk management, underpins the financial group's vast experience in the areas such as equities broking, investment banking, Islamic banking, and listed derivatives. Kenanga has their own vision and missions. Kenanga's vision is to be a market leader in the listed derivative industry that has a strong domestic foundation with global connectivity and expertise, while one of their missions is to recognize and invest in the most valuable assets such as reputation, people and client, as well as to create value for their stakeholders and excel above their competitors. Next, we move to the disclosure of MFRS. There is no information related to the disclosure of MFRS 108 and MFRS 110 in Kenanga's annual report. But in the annual report of Kenanga, there is information related to the disclosure of MFRS 116 and MFRS 136. As we can see here, these are the checklists show that all of these MFRS 116 disclosure are mentioned in the annual report. Same goes to the disclosure of MFRS 136. This checklist shows all the disclosure regarding MFRS 136 that is mentioned in the annual report and applied by Kenanga Investment Bank Berhad. Then, we move to the disclosure of common key audit matters. So, these are the Kenanga's common issues of the key audit matters, which are the expected credit loss of loans, advances and financing, and investment not carried at fair value, the impairment of goodwill, and last but not least, the valuation of investment in unquoted equity instruments. Now, I would like to present about financial performance summaries of Kenanga Investment Bank Berhad. For the liquidity ratios, the current ratio and the acid test ratio in the year 2021 are better than the year 2020. It means that for every 1 ringgit current liabilities, this company has 1 ringgit and 12 cents of the current assets to pay its obligation. And this company also owns 71 cents of liquid assets to cover each of 1 ringgit current liabilities. Besides, for the profitability ratios, as we can see here, the return on assets and return on ordinary shareholders' equity in the year 2020 are better than the year 2021. But for the earnings per share and payout ratio in the year 2021 are higher than the year 2020. Last but not least, for the solvency ratios, the debt to total assets ratio in the year 2020 is better than the year 2021. This company still has a good ability to survive because this ratio for both years is below 1.0. But for the times interest earned, it is better in the year 2021 compared to the year 2020. It means that the ability of Kenanga to meet the interest payments in the year 2021 is better than 2020. That's all from me. I will pass to the next presenter to continue our presentation. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum, I'm Dini Izzati Binti Ruzman. My matric number is 288245. I will continue with the background of Land Engineer Berhad. The previous name before changing to Land Engineer Berhad is General Lumber Holding Berhad. This business is located in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, and it was established on May 21st, 1964. The company was listed on the KLCE in 1968. The company is currently listed on the Bursa Malaysia main board. By obtaining silver timber concession, it was first run as a sawmill and timber merchant. The business was grown by the corporation in the middle of 1980 when a new management team was put in place. The corporation now operates as an investment holding company with subsidiaries, mostly involved in the real estate development and investment industry. The business also cultivates rubber and oil palm, owns a complex of school buildings, and offers educational services. For disclosure of MFRS 108 and 110, There is no information related to this MFRS in the annual report of Land Engineer Berhad. For MFRS 116, there is information related to this MFRS in the annual report of LNG Berhad. The table shows the checklist of disclosure of MFRS 116 that mentioned in the annual report. Same goes to MFRS 136. There's information related to this MFRS in the annual report of LNG Berhad. The table shows the checklist of disclosure of MFRS 136 that mentioned in annual report. Let's move to key audit matters. There's two key audit matters related to LNG Berhad. The first one is revenue recognition for group, and the last one is impairment assessment of investment in subsidiaries and amount due from subsidiaries for company. Now we move to financial performance summaries of LNG Berhad. First is liquidity ratios. For current ratios, in 2020 are better than 2021, but because of the current ratio is greater than 1, LNG Berhad has sufficient current resources to meet its short-term debt obligation in both years. For asset test ratio, 2021 is better than 2020, but because of the current ratio is not greater than 1, current assets do not exceed current liabilities in both years. Next, profitability ratios. For profit margin and return on assets, in year 2021 is better than 2020. However, asset turnover in year 2020 are better than 2021. Lastly, solvency ratios. For debt to total asset ratios, year 2020 are better than 2021 because only 25% of its assets are financed by debt, while the remainder are financed by equity. And for time interest earned, year 2021 are better than 2020. I think that's all from me. I will pass to the next presenter. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nazreen Binti Alias and my matric number is 288624. Now, I would like to continue with the background of Lotus Cafe Berhad. Lotus Cafe Berhad is a company under Bursa Malaysia that is under the consumer products and services sector. Lotus Cafe Berhad, formerly Kuantan Kilometers Berhad, is a Malaysia-based company and was incorporated in 1984. Lotus Cafe Berhad engaged in flour milling and trading in its related products. Its products include wheat flour, grain maize, and tapioca. Lotus Cafe Berhad also provides technical services and transport services to the flour milling operation. The company has a fleet of cargo lorries and bulk tankers for deliveries of its products to customers. The main focus of this company is to produce consistent and good quality flour with the objective of achieving 100% customer satisfaction and loyalty. Next, for the disclosure of MFRS 108 and 110, there is no information related to the both MFRS in the Lotus annual report. After that, for the disclosure of MFRS 116, there is information related to this MFRS in the Lotus annual report. The table showing all of the checklist of the information related to MFRS 116 that has been mentioned in the annual report. Same goes for the disclosure of MFRS 136. There is information related to this MFRS in the Lotus annual report. The table showing all of the checklist of the information related to MFRS 136 that has been mentioned in the annual report. Then, for the common key audit matters disclosed, there are 3 key audit matters, which are inventory valuation, provision for expected credit losses for trade receivable, and revenue recognition. Finally, for financial performance summaries, there is 3 ratios that have been tested for Lotus Cafe Berhad. For liquidity ratio, the current ratio of Lotus Cafe Berhad in the year 2021 is better than the year 2020. It means that for every 1 ringgit current liabilities, this company has 11 ringgit 23 cents of the current assets to pay its obligation in 2021, meanwhile 3 ringgit 62 cents in 2020. Lotus Cafe Berhad also has a better asset test ratio in the year 2021 compared to the year 2020. It means that this company owns 10 ringgit 45 cents liquid assets to cover each of current liabilities in 2021, meanwhile 3 ringgit 7 cents in 2020. For profitability ratio, the profit margin of Lotus Cafe Berhad in the year 2020 is better than the year 2021. This means Lotus Cafe Berhad can generate 1 ringgit 81 cents in the net income for every 1 ringgit in sales revenue in 2020, meanwhile 62 cents in 2021. The assets turnover of Lotus Cafe Berhad in the year 2020 also better than the year 2021. This means Lotus Cafe Berhad can generate 9 cents in sales for every 1 ringgit invested in total asset in 2020, meanwhile 5 cents in 2021. The return on asset of Lotus Cafe Berhad in the year 2020 also better than the year 2021. This means Lotus Cafe Berhad can generate 17 cents in the net income for every 1 ringgit invested in asset with a return on asset of 70 cents in 2020, meanwhile 3 cents in 2021. For solvency ratio, the debt to total asset ratio of Lotus Cafe Berhad in the year 2021 is better than the year 2020. This means Lotus Cafe Berhad has 60% of debt for every 1 ringgit of the asset in 2021, meanwhile 30% in 2020. The debt interest earned by Lotus Cafe Berhad in the year 2020 better than the year 2021. This means Lotus Cafe Berhad has more ability to meet interest payment, which is 32.51 times in 2020, meanwhile 7.8 times in 2021. That's all from me. I will pass for the next presenter. Thank you.
Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Azlyn Binti Mahmud and my matric number is 288141. So here, I will talk about Runhill Utilities Berhad. Runhill Utilities Berhad was a Bursa listed company established in the year 1955, which is based in Kuala Lumpur, which actively in power and environmental sectors. The company also provides the power sector through its subsidiaries RP1 and RP2 and managed 190 MWC CGT power plants in Sabah, Malaysia on the basis of BOO and BOT. It's also producing a 21-year period of 380 MW of electricity which begins in the year 2008 and year 2011 respectively to RP2. RPOM1 and RPOM2 were used to provide services of O&M to its RP1 and RP2 power plants. The disclosure of MFRS 108 found in Annual Report of Runhill Utilities Berhad is amendment to MFRS 108, Accounting Policies, Changes in Accounting Estimates and Errors, Definition of Accounting Estimates. However, there is no information related to the MFRS 110 in the Annual Report. Based on the MFRS 116, Runhill Utilities Berhad used cost model as a measurement base used for determining the gross carrying amount. The depreciation methods used by Runhill Utilities Berhad is straight line basis and the useful life or the depreciation rates used are residual value and useful value. Runhill Utilities Berhad reversed an impairment loss when the impairment conditions no longer exist or have improved. Impairment loss was recognized in profit or loss to the extent that the carrying amount of the contract cost exceed the remaining amount of consideration and related costs. The depreciation reviewed as an expense at the end of the reporting year. According to MFRS 133, the events and circumstances that led to the recognition of reversal of the impairment loss was recognized in profit or loss to the extent that the carrying amount of the contract cost exceed the remaining amount of consideration and related costs. In addition, Runhill Utilities Berhad determined based on value in use calculation, pre-tax flow projection, and financial budget approval. As key audit matters for Runhill Utilities Berhad was considered as an expert opinion where the audit's financial statement will be audited for the current fiscal year. It covered the issues of the groups and the companies. First and foremost, uncertain tax position can be referred to Note 18 to the financial statement. Referring to Note 16 in the financial statement, intangible asset was recognized by the service license of the group with 282.4 million ringgit. The value in use (VIU) method was used by the group to estimate the CGU's recoverable amount. Using an appropriate discount rate and terminal growth rate, the estimate future cash flows that will result from the CGU are discounted to their present value to calculate the VIU. Revenue recognition on the sale of treated water recognized water revenue of 1,103.5 million ringgit and 72% of the group's total revenue. As a result, Runhill identified recognition of water revenue in regard to accuracy and cut-off as a crucial audit issue. Based on the Runhill's ratio performance, the current ratio for 2020 shows as a better year compared to 2021, which shows that Runhill has 2 ringgit 24 cents for the current asset to pay short-term obligation for every 1 ringgit of current liabilities. However, Runhill also has a better asset test ratio in the year 2020, which is 1 ringgit 31 cents of assets over 1 ringgit current liabilities. Overall, the liquidity ratio for Runhill Utilities Berhad shows that year 2020 is better than year 2021. Meanwhile, the profit margin for Runhill Utilities Berhad is 22% in the year 2021, which is better than cent in the year 2020. It means that Runhill has 22 cents to generate cash for every 1 ringgit of sales, and Runhill can generate 20 cents of net income in the year 2020 for every 1 ringgit of sales. However, the company has a similar amount of asset turnover, which is 12 cents. This means Runhill's assets have the same ability in generating sales in the year 2020 and 2021. Besides, the return on asset of the year 2021 is higher than 2022, which is 3 cents compared to 2 cents in the year 2020. Overall, the company has a good performance of profitability ratios in the year 2021 compared to the year 2020. Besides that, debt to total asset ratios for the year 2021 is 74% higher than 2022, which is 73. Furthermore, the times interest earned show Runhill is able to pay the interest 175.3 times which income before interest and tax in the year 2021. For the year 2022, Runhill is able to pay the obligation 38.44 times with the earning before interest tax.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Azziana Binti Mohamad Nasron. Number matric is 2896 and 32. So I proceed with VS Industri Berhad. VS Industri Berhad was found in 1982 and listed in main market of Bursa Malaysia Securities in 1998. Today, VS is leading integrated electronic manufacturing service provider, which is EMS company in the region. The vision and mission of this company is we will remain relevant to our customer. We will continue putting in our best effort to our customer partner, be it developing and designing new product. So I will proceed with the MFRS VS Industri Berhad. For disclosure of MFRS 108 is accounting policy change in accounting and estimate and errors. Definition of accounting estimate and for disclosure of MFRS 110 is there no information related to MFRS 110 in the annual report. Next, this is disclosure of MFRS 116 for this company. The measurement basis used for determining the gross amount, which is cost model, and the depreciation is straight line basis. This depreciation is based on the cost of an asset less its receivable value. So the other item is the disclosure of MFRS 116 that used for this company. Next, I will proceed with disclosure of MFRS 136 of this company. For impairment loss is recognized if the carrying amount of an asset or cash generating unit asset is the estimate recoverable amount. Both the impairment loss and the reversal are recognized. So the other item is the disclosure of MFRS 136 that used for this company. Next, I will proceed the common key audit methods disclosed. First, they assess the reasonableness of the recoverable amount, the fair value less expenses of disposal, and the assumption employed in value in use calculation to estimate the present value of future net flows. Next, in order to assess the audit procedure, carry out the evaluation of the appropriateness of the recoverable amount and the key assumption utilized in determining the recoverable amount. So the other item is the common key audit they use for this company. Last part is the ratio. First, current ratio. The current ratio of VS Industri Berhad for the year end 31 July 2020 is better than 2021, which is 2.06. It means VS Industri Berhad has 2.06 ringgit of current asset to pay short-term obligation for every 1 ringgit of current liability, and for 2021 at 1 ringgit at 86. Next, for quick ratio, VS Industri Berhad has better rate in 2022, which is 1.66 compared to 2021, which is 1.33. For example, 2022 and 2021, VS Industri Berhad has 1.66 ringgit and 0.33 ringgit of asset over 1 ringgit current liability. Next, for the profitability ratio. As a result, VS Industri Berhad has better profitability ratio in 2021 compared the year 2020. So we can assume that VS Industri Berhad has a good performance year by year. Lastly is solvency ratio. The debt to total asset of VS Industri Berhad in 2020, which is 34%, is better than 2021. This means VS Industri Berhad has 0.34 ringgit of debt for every 1 ringgit in the asset in 2020, meanwhile 0.38 ringgit in 2021. Moreover, the time interest earned by this company, which is 2.76 times, is better than the year 2020, which is 2.14 times. This means this company has more ability to meet interest payment, which is 2.76 times in 2021, meanwhile 2.14 times in 2020. That's all for me.